Welcome in, guys. Episode 18. I'm ElectricityWave, and I am joined by Stadium. Today, we have a very special guest, Mr. Bottom Fraag. Enjoy the show. All right, welcome in, guys. This is episode 18. Today, we have a very special guest. He goes by Bottom Fraag, Hype Frag, Andy. He's a part of Hype, Streamer Hub, Power. He has the Power of Positivity podcast, and he's also a part of Content. Dude.
He's doing everything.
When I look on Twitter and I see like all these different streamers, like you started streaming in 2018, but like, dude, the past like 6 months, all I see is like you on Twitter. Like, my man is doing so much, and I'm like, dude, how does he have time? How does he manage all this stuff? Like, it just keeps adding on. Like, how do you do it?
Time management, honestly, that's been my game changer. I schedule every day of the week on a Sunday, just before everything, in half-an-hour segments, with kind of a rough idea of what I want to do within those times, and it's helped me massively really push my content forward in a variety of ways and be more focused on what I'm wanting to do rather than just saying it in my head about something I'm wanting to do. I have it written down and knowing exactly what I want to follow.
Yeah, that's smart, because like I know, especially with content creation, like a lot of it is mental, a lot of it is time management. I know I've caught myself like, just sitting and trying to think like, what do I do? Like sometimes you just have to just act on it and just write it down. You might be doing something like taking a shower or like driving, and you're like, damn, like let me write down this idea, and then later I can try to make it into a video, or it could be anything. I think that's such a big thing people miss out on, is like having something like Google Calendars, writing it down, and just taking care of their own time. Where did you learn your time management skills? I feel like that's like, it's not everybody has that skill.
It was something that I'd actually watched from a YouTuber called Matt Diavella. He done last year, it was like a year's worth of work to find new ways to be productive and self-develop yourself, and one of those was scheduling his day, and he said that that's one of the ones that he has kept in for the whole time that he has been doing it, purely off of everything that he's worked towards, and everything that he's done has been done through scheduling, and that is what's helped him massively become the productive person that he is today.
Dude,
and that's
I'm gonna need that.
Me.
I'm gonna need his
for sure. I can send you it. It's amazing.
Seriously, that's really cool.
Do you really set it out, like when you start the day, like today I'm gonna do this from this time to this time, and then I'm gonna move on to this from this time to this time, and you like try to lay it all out like that, and just try to like stick to that as much as you can?
So on a Sunday night, I will have all of that written down and kind of work out roughly what I'm going to do in that week and what I want to push forward, dedicating as much time as I can to specific things. And over time, like over the weeks, you kind of start to realise, right, this thing takes less time than I thought, so I can lower that a little bit. This thing takes a little bit more time, so I should probably give myself some buffer time to work for with that. And although it changes every week, it's allowed me to adapt over time to working out what actually pushes my content further forward and what kind of pushes my content further forward, so I can focus more on the thing that really does, and not so much on the thing that's just kind of half working, half not.
How do you like decide what's next? Because like, I don't know, like is it always like a new project, or is it like refining something that you already have? Or
there's a mix. So last year my big project was creating the website, the Streamer Hub, and
it's a beautiful website, by the way.
Awesome.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And that took me a long time. That was something that was refined over a long period of time. And I wanted another big project, but that doesn't mean I don't continue to work on my own stuff. So like the likes of today, this morning when I got up, I like edited my podcast, I shot my YouTube video for this week, I worked on some hype stuff, and then tried to push my marketing forward within my stream. But I also worked on the biggest project that I'm working on for this year, which is releasing a brand for merch, so although working on all my own stuff, I'm still bringing out a big project that I want to work on and I want to focus on throughout the whole year.
Nice.
That's really cool. That's interesting. Like,
So like, what? Sorry. So with like, designing the website, editing your podcast, stuff like, is your podcast weekly?
Yeah, weekly at the moment.
Okay, so how much do you try to like interweave everything like that? Like, do you like to keep your podcast completely separate from your YouTube, which is separate from your Twitch, which is separate from this, that, and the other thing? Like, or do you like to really try to keep everything like do you talk about your YouTube on your podcast, or do you like to try to keep everything more separate and let it just be its own thing?
In some ways it's intertwined, in other ways it's not. With like on streaming on Twitch, I talk about everything, everything that I do, everything that I brought out, because that's the easiest place for people to ask me questions and give live interactivity for me to answer that. With the likes of the podcast, I mention it on YouTube, but I mention that everywhere, same as the website, because they all do work kind of part and parcel with each other. There's not really many places I'm not afraid to push my stuff that I've worked on. They might not have the same name, or they might not know it's directly from me, but I still want to allow people to find me on a variety of platforms through those things. Like, I've not came up with a name that's worked for everything. Like, I just don't think Bottom Frag would have worked for the Streamer Hub, and I also don't think Bottom Frag Podcast would have worked for the Power of Positivity podcast, you know. If I had a name that would work for everything, I probably would have used that. But for me, having a variety of things and building my brand through many platforms is what's worked and what's helped me kind of not have to focus so much on keeping everything in that one bubble and really get out of it.
Are we gonna get a rebrand soon?
You never know. You never
Positive
know.
Andy.
Yeah, like the power of positivity. Like, yeah, it's not called the Bottom Frag podcast, but power of positivity, like that's still very on brand for you. Like, you're a super positive streamer, and like it's your like, not persona, because it's not like you're playing a character or anything, and you're actually a huge dick in person.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, but it's like, it's still very much you, and you know, it's not. Yeah, so I think that's still really cool. Like, that's a great name for the podcast.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, because you want something that like catches people's attention, you know.
Definitely.
I do like that name. Because, dude, one of the things that took us like a month or two is just thinking of the name of a podcast, because you know, it's one of the most important things, because it's supposed to describe what you're going to talk about, or the mood, or what kind of audience you want to draw in. So like, I totally get that. Like, sometimes your name might not work for it and you might have to go somewhere else, but as long as you're putting out good content and you're good at marketing yourself, like, it's all gonna work out, and you're diversifying.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's
actually,
super smart.
I have had a lot of help from my mods on Twitch. I asked them a lot of questions regarding like new things I'm doing, because some of them are a lot more creative than me, especially with names, and it was them who helped me come up with it, and them who are helping me come up with like the branding for the merch line and all that sort of stuff. So I've got them to thank as well.
I was actually gonna ask you, like, do you have people to consult, or people that you delegate work to? Like, people have a team around them?
I am actually focusing on that a lot this year, to try and build a team around me. I want to do a lot of things, but as we all know, 24 hours is tough to get all those things done. So focusing a lot more on finding people I want to work with, so that they can not only become successful with me, but push their brand forward as well, you know. And although it's something I would love to do and I'd love to find, it takes time. You know, it takes a lot of time to find those people who are as motivated and dedicated as you. And like, even right now, I'm looking for an editor to do one YouTube video and then eventually move on to my full-time editor. And I've got a full Excel sheet filled with like 50 names. And I'm trying to go through them all and really like look into them to see where they want to be in the future, and how far they want to push themselves, because we are represented by who we surround ourselves with, you know. So if we're surrounding ourselves with people who aren't motivated and are always negative and putting things out there to belittle others, it's going to look bad on you, and it's not going to show that you're trying to push forward with that positivity and bringing other people up who deserve that success.
Yeah, and like no matter how big of a, like, you could be a genius, like you could be total marketing expert, like anything. You could have 200 million subscribers on Twitch, like it could just be anything. But no single person has all the right answers. So like, you know, being able to consult with somebody and then putting your ideas together, or just like, even if you have a great idea, just bouncing it off of somebody else to let, you know, and just getting more input. That, like, I can't imagine that not helping anybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and like an editor puts so much, they can completely like change the mood or the vibe or the content that you put out. You can have like an amazing, hilarious, like contentful like game, say on like Fortnite, then you send it over to your editor, and maybe the way that they edit it like doesn't truly highlight the best moments. I mean, it makes a big deal to pick your editor. It's huge on YouTube.
100%.
And,
yeah, like that merch trailer that you put out, Mike. Like, like the footage we sent him. It's like one part where you're like in a parking lot, and I'm like driving around you in a circle in a car, and he makes it look like you have like a whole music video squad, like a whole crew, like with lighting and just everything, and it looks so good. So it's like, editing is huge, man. You can do some magic in those programs.
That's the reason as well that I'm wanting to do that, because I've always been quite an independent person, and I really like to learn things on my own. Like, I don't like when people make the excuses of saying, oh, like, I just don't want to edit. That'll take a lot of time. I get it'll take a lot of time, and I know I'm not the best editor, but if I have an editor I can work with who's more professional than me, then I get to learn through them as well, and we can both teach each other things about marketing and pushing our brands further forward, and that's exactly what I want to do.
Yeah, it's people really don't understand how important it is to learn skills in this like in this type of like entertainment business or industry. Like, as a content creator, learning how to edit, you know, your own videos for a while, and understanding what goes into it as far as time, effort, effects, you know, sounds, everything. Like, it's so much more important, because then you understand, you know, you might be able to make it a suggestion or work with the editor or appreciate what they do more. Like, it's huge, like, to have that stuff.
No, it really is.
So like, yeah, I always like push people to like, well, if you like want to grow as a content creator, at least learn how to edit or learn like Photoshop, so then you can have a different point of view and you can understand like, oh, that's why that made that edit like so well. Like, I'm not just sitting here watching it, but I'm understanding it. So you started in August of 2018. What was that process like? What got you into streaming?
It was actually Shroud. Shroud was the first person that got me into streaming, and the only reason I started streaming was because of PUBG. In 2017, I worked as a grass cutter for the summer to save up for a PC because I wanted PUBG so bad.
Nice.
And the next year I started playing, and I saw Shroud as YouTube clips, and then I went and found Twitch for the first time. And me and my friend had talked about doing this kind of like duo PUBG stream, because we were actually really good at the time. We kind of wanted to go into the competitive scene and show off what we could do. I started and he didn't, and we're still friends to this day. Like, we still talk about it, but I just went for it and started with PUBG, playing that constantly. And eventually, over the next few months, I realised that streaming was a lot more to do with meeting people and talking to people, and I was struggling to keep up with chat, and I was really wanting to talk to people. So I kind of started to move into the likes of just chatting for some sections of the stream, or just staying in like the lobby of the stream just to chat with people. And that's kind of how it all started, and it all originated from me wanting to be a competitive player and then finding my love for talking to people.
Because I've noticed that's what... Go ahead, Mike.
I was just going to say, it's crazy, like with streaming, you meet so many different types and shapes and sizes and like personalities and all these different people from all around the world, and you can connect through one platform. Like, it's wild. Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and like so many of your streams, I've noticed, like, obviously you do talk to people a lot, and then you go from game to game too. So are you really just not trying to become like really competitive in any other game right now?
Yeah, no, not anymore. I liked competitive gaming. I used to try and get into like competitive COD back in the day, And I am a competitive player. Like, I'm a really competitive player, especially in the outside world as well. Like, I've played football my whole life. I've like won league titles and British championships and all that. But it's more to me now in this is about the people, you know, getting to know everyone. I really like to understand people more. I'm really interested in psychology. So understanding how people work, people's mindsets, what they think, what they're working towards, it really, really intrigues me and interests me when people from all around the world, and as you said, just everyone's different culture. It's really, really interesting.
So I noticed you were playing not a competitive game at all, Star Wars Fallen Order. Yesterday or today. Was that today? Or
today.
yesterday?
Yeah,
today. How are you liking that game?
I'm loving it. I'm a huge fan of Star Wars.
Yes.
So in all honesty, they could make the game crap and I would still love it.
Right.
Just because
but
it's Star Wars.
This one just happened to be incredible and Star Wars.
But it happened to be amazing as well, which I'm really, really happy about. I remember the last, like, I think it was kind of not Lego Star Wars, but it was Revenge of the Sith on like the PS2, and then bringing it back to this kind of thing in more real life action. It's brought all those good memories back, and I'm loving to play it.
Yeah, it's awesome. You're gonna love the ending. That's all I'm gonna say. Like the last, like, no spoilers obviously, but the last 30 minutes of that game is wild.
Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait.
It's so good.
What difficulty are you playing on?
I think it's Jedi Master. I'm one below the top one. I hadn't played Dark Souls and all that sort of stuff, and people said it reminded them of that, so I didn't want to make myself stuck forever, not being able to get through anything. So I just went one below that.
Yeah, there are some parts that are really difficult, and like you can lose since you die. Like you die, and then if you haven't hit a I'm drawing a blank on what they're called. It's like the campfire, basically, like where your checkpoint.
Oh yeah, where you meditate and all that.
Right, so if it's been a while, or if you skip one or whatever, you could lose like a lot of time in that game if you die.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Yeah, you don't want to play for like an hour and die and completely lose that whole hour.
Yeah.
That's like a golden rule for me now, is like I always play games on either easy or normal, because getting stuck on a part and chat's just watching you, like you're just like,
Yeah, what the hell did I do? I can't get past this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I played Sekiro Shadows Die Twice on stream when it first came out. And there's a boss towards the beginning of the game. He rides on a horse and he has this giant ass like spear basically, and he killed me. I don't know. He probably killed me like 19 or 20 times. And I'm like, all right, you guys, like nobody's having fun watching me do this right now. There's no way. But that game like doesn't have an easy mode, so you're just kind of screwed. But yeah, so
straight from the start.
Yeah. So I could definitely see why you just like you want to advance the story and not be at the exact same screen for 35
for
hours.
ages.
Yeah.
I get it if you're trying to like 100%, like those people that are crazy and they'll play like a super hard mode and 100% it.
Yeah. Fair play to them, by the way, because that could not be me.
Yeah, but it just depends on what kind of player you are, because that could also be fun too. Seeing somebody tear through like Bloodborne or something on the hardest difficulty, like that's its own kind of entertainment. So,
Eventually it gets funny when people are just like because there's people that have like counters. Like I know Saria Slays would have like a counter on her stream, like how many times she died. It'd be like 300 or 400 deaths at the end. I'm like, jeez.
Yeah.
Like the perseverance of people. Like after 20, I'm taking a break. I gotta go have a snack or something.
Yeah.
Like
totally.
That's
regroup.
just too much.
Yeah.
So you are Scottish. I wanted to ask this: what are the most misunderstood things people think about like Scottish people? I'm curious. Like Americans.
I think a lot of people think we're dicks. Like we're not nice people. And although there is some who's not, I think everyone has that. Everyone has people who are just not genuinely nice people.
Oh, definitely.
There's I think that is a common misconception. I think the not a wrong misconception, but that we're just drinking all the time. I'm a little bit different because I don't drink that much, but I can tell you for a fact we do like to drink as a nation. That is a fact.
Like during the big the big football games.
Oh yeah, Celtic Rangers here is just like basically religion. It's people dedicate their lives to it. I love football, but I would much rather play than watch two teams. Much rather do it.
I've always wanted to go to a football game. Like we call it soccer in America, but since you're here and you're the guest and I'm gonna be polite, I'm gonna call it football. But
do you do you correct people if someone says soccer? Or are you like, dude, it's football, or do you just not care?
Nah, I don't really care, to be honest. If I'm messaging someone on Twitter or something like that and they ask me what I'm doing, I'll say football and then in brackets soccer, just in case that they don't know.
Yeah.
But any other time, I really don't. I don't care, to be honest. People can call it what they want.
just block them.
Just block them instantly. You know, don't you dare ever talk to me again.
Right. If you're not smart enough to call soccer football, then I don't even need you in my life, dude.
I want to surround myself with good people, and you're just not one of them.
And you are not one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. I never played soccer as a kid growing up, but I wish I did.
I did.
It looks so fun.
I love it. It's in my blood. I've played it since I was like 4. Played it my whole life.
I played for 8.5 years, so I'm not like. I mean, it was so long ago though, so like it doesn't feel like it really. But I was on a team like 8.5 years straight from the age of 6, I think, like 6 to 14, somewhere in there. But if I played now, I'm sure my footwork is just gone.
It's out the window.
I remember when I was over your house and they had tryouts and you like hurt your knee.
Yeah, dude.
Sean hurt his knee and they made him run 2 miles with like a messed up knee.
Yeah,
and I felt so bad.
I had like a giant hole in my knee, and they were like, "Well, you gotta finish."
Dude, I remember seeing everyone finishing the mile in like 9 minutes, and then like a couple of minutes later, like Sean just trottles at the end. I felt so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh,
but
man.
that was like after, because we have this in America, we have this like soccer. It's basically it's kind of like a league. It's more of like an organization, I guess, called ASO, and it's more generally like for kids. So I played that like all through my childhood, and then I took a break in like middle school because I played basketball, and then my stepdad just wanted me to play soccer again. So like I did tryouts and like a camp basically for soccer in freshman year, and it was just not for me anymore at that point. I was so out of shape, and like they're just running miles like right off the bat, and I was like, dude, I'm not ready for this. I haven't done anything athletic in like 3 years, and you want me to just run a few miles right now? There's no way.
Dude, I remember for tryouts, and well, it was like towards the end. It was like the first thing we had to do for basketball season. We had to run 2 miles in this like grass thing, and it was like uphill a little bit. But we had to run it in 6.5 minutes.
2 miles in 6.5 minutes.
I'm like each mile was 6.5 minutes pace.
Oh, okay.
So it was.
Still.
It might have been. It was because it was 13 minutes. I was like, dude, I'm gonna die today. Yeah. It was hot, middle of summer.
I will not make it through this.
Yeah, it was rough. But yeah, sports are brutal, but they're so fun. I think having a sports background helps in content creation because you have like that competitive nature of like wanting to do better and like being your best version of yourself.
Definitely.
You know? So I think, I don't know, I feel like it's an advantage sometimes having that competitive nature because you're just like, you just want, whatever the goal is, like you want to just go and get it. And it really is just comes down to action. Like it is like, I don't know, you see, like I saw your tweet right before we started recording, and I saw you talking about how a lot of people will talk about goals and talk about what they're gonna do, and I feel like it's just so, like, it's good to have goals for sure, but for the most part, I feel like you're just most productive when you just go and do something behind the scenes.
Yeah, you are.
And talk about it after, you know.
100%. And there's so many people, you see it every year. And I know I've only done this for a year and a bit now, but you see, 2020 is going to be my year. I've got so many plans. Watch this space. 2020 is mine. And then they do absolutely nothing to change it. You know, and although I talk about my goals, I do, and I don't think there's anything wrong with goals. I have number goals, I have personal goals, I have every goal for me that I want to strive for this year, but I don't need to share that with people because I know I will achieve them with hard work and dedication. I don't need to tell people what I'm going to achieve. I would rather watch and allow people to watch me achieve those as I achieve it with hard work. And I'll let everyone who can talk about it and can speak about their goals all over Twitter tell them how they're going to make that this year just fall down because they're not prepared to actually put in the work, but would rather get a few likes here and there from people who partially believe in them to achieve these.
There was actually a tweet I saw like a couple months ago. It was like right before the New Year resolution thing was started, and it was really insightful. I wish I had it like with me, but it was basically talking about how it's better to not like speak on what you will do in your goals, because the reason like people do that and fail is because they get that little bit of validation from the people, like, oh, you're gonna do it, or a like, and then they instantly lose that motivation because they have like the drug in your brain that is like, oh, like, you know, it's achieved, the goal's done, you know. So it's just better to just maybe speak generally if you want to, and just say I'm ready to work hard, and then just go, you know,
and do it.
That's why I don't really like talk about specific number goals or like stuff like that either, because I don't know, I just feel like it makes it almost harder to achieve it when you're like saying it, because then there's an expectation. I rather just like go and do everything and just put in the time, really.
Yeah, I never talk about number goals. Like I will never really mention number goals.
Right.
With achievements, I'll mention them. If I reach achievements within numbers, I'll mention them, because I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You've achieved that at the end of the day. Right. But personal goals and self-development goals are what is actually going to make you the best creator that you possibly can be. If you know that you're wanting to work on yourself, and you know avenues that you're wanting to take, you have control over that, because it's your action that is going to lead to that achievement being made. Whereas number goals, you're literally basing this on people following you, subscribing to you, when in reality your content may not be good enough to reach those, because you just don't put in the work in the self-development field to allow you to have the content that is good enough for so many people to find you, for thousands of others to see your content and want to invest in your business as a whole.
Yeah, you want to like you want to have goals that you can control. You know, you can't control numbers, you can't control who follows you, who subs, all that stuff. You can control, like, you know, you can control something like putting out a video once a week, or clipping stuff, or looking up how to do a better, like how to edit better, or how to Photoshop better, or how to be better on camera, you know, an actual skill.
Yeah, you can, definitely.
That's like that's the key. And then like being patient, like so many people want it like so like quickly, like they like think like they're gonna be partner. Like I even looked back at a clip of me when I first got affiliate. My next stream title was Path to Partner. It cracks me up. It's like, you idiot.
I don't remember that.
Love it.
That's hilarious.
Streaming on Xbox, dude. My overlays, like my new donation, aren't even lined up in my webcam. Like,
love that.
I was just like, oh my god, that's looking back at it. But
at least you weren't complacent with affiliate, and you're instantly like, all right, let's get the next thing.
Path to Ninja.
Yeah, that's one thing I think why people get so discouraged, because like I guess we can just use Ninja as an example. Maybe like the first time you heard of Ninja, he was already like the biggest streamer in the world, right? So it's like, well, he came out of nowhere and he's the biggest streamer in the world, when he definitely did not come out of nowhere. Like he's been streaming by the time you heard of him, or you know, like random X person's like, well, by the time they heard of him, he had already been streaming for like, let's say 5, 6, 7 years. He already did this, that, and the other thing. He worked on everything all the time. Like it's very, very, very rare where a person literally blows up out of nowhere. So 100%. It's like, so you just didn't see the grind and all the time and effort and behind the scenes work that was put in. Like people like him, or you know, just so many successful people, they do all the stuff behind the scenes, or when they have a smaller audience, and then everybody hears of them when they're big, and then like all the work came just before them. Up. Yeah,
I see that all the time, and as you said, it's so rare for someone to blow up overnight. I think the important thing for people to know is that it's not going to come instantly, and that it's going to be a very, very big learning curve, especially within content creation. No matter what you do, whether that be streaming or YouTube or anything, it's going to be a huge learning curve, and the only way that you are going to achieve that success is to just continuously work hard on your content and start believing in yourself that you're going to be successful.
It's literally
if you
like,
don't believe in yourself, like why should somebody else?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like all mental, really.
It's a really, really hard mental game. One that many fail to do, and that's why they give up. A lot of people just push themselves beyond their limit, and and it'll make them crumble, and I've seen so many people quit because of it, and I get it. I get how hard it can be. It is a real mental challenge, and most of it is staying level-headed and realising that you have to believe in yourself, and that those bad times are going to be the things that you look back on when the good times appear, knowing that your hard work shows that dedication to something and staying consistent is what brought you to where you are today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's so important too. A thing I see with people that quote unquote blow up, or like see a big like random growth, like fluctuation in their growth, and they're like all of a sudden they're growing, they're getting all these subs and stuff. I see people like that, and then I see like, I don't know if it's that feeding into their ego or if they are always like that, but I feel like being a good person and treating like someone who has one follower the same as someone who has, you know, 1 million with respect is such a, like, it's so important for, you know, because I see these people, they'll get all these follows and they're treating people like shit and they're being like dicks, and I've seen it. Like, I have like examples, obviously I won't say, but and then stuff that starts not to go their way, and then people still remembered how they like treated them when they were like doing well.
Yeah.
So they don't want to help them get out of that, like, that rut. And it's just like, I see that, I'm just like, you just have to be, I mean, if you're not a good person, then you're not a good person. But if you think like just because things are going well, you can treat people like poorly, like, that's not the way to go.
I know. And it just shows you like that it happens. It does happen. A lot of people get these big egos. They love to just feel like they're above people, and I get it. I understand that. I know there was someone who said it really, really well, and it was a lot of people on social media and all that sort of stuff. They might not have the most social backgrounds in the world, so they might have not like hung out with a huge group in school or played sports and all that sort of stuff. So when a lot of people are paying attention to them, it's really overwhelming. And then it's that kind of thing of that ego growing, and then like maybe thinking or start treating people not in the right way. And it can be a shame when someone goes that way if you've known them for a long while, and they do start to like get a lot more followers, subs and all that sort of stuff, and they do change. But what's really nice to see, and what I try to focus on more, is the people who have worked for years and see it and stay the same person and are just as nice, if not a completely better content creator for everything that's happened, because they've took a positive advantage to what is going on.
Yeah, like some examples of people that I see that are like probably gonna see like some success are like you, obviously, Das, Stallion, Seti. Like, you guys are all just good people, even though I knew you guys probably like a year ago or more than that, and you guys haven't changed. And I think like those are the type of people I want to keep around me. When I see people change, then I'm just like, I don't know if I can trust that person. You know?
Because you don't know if they're actually them, if that's actually them.
Exactly.
Or
like,
you'll see that they'll like worse. Yeah, and you don't want to be around somebody that'll like do anything for like some more growth, you know, like oh, I'm just gonna like drop this person because I don't need them anymore. Like, you don't need people like that around. Nah,
not at all.
Nope. Surrounding yourself with like good people and hardworking people, like obviously positive, but like hard. I like having people around me that are like constantly like working towards their dream, working on their craft, like, because if they're doing that, then I'm not gonna sit and just be by myself. Like, I'm gonna be like, all right, well, it's time for me to work too, you know? Like, so it's good to have like friends that are also working towards something.
It really is.
And you can share ideas and stuff too.
Yeah. I do that all the time. I'm talking to people all the time, just asking them what they think of it, what you think could add to it, and having people who have that same mindset of you and wanting that success just as much as you. It shows that you're able to bounce ideas off of one another and start thinking of the real marketing strategies to do so, and really push both of your content forward for the better.
Yeah, and you can learn from so many people. Like, even not just like having a direct conversation with them, but just seeing how they move, what they're doing, what worked for them, what didn't work for them. Like, if you just pay attention like that, then you can learn so much without even like, you don't have to sit down like, I'm going to learn something today. You can just learn just through experience.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I was gonna say, a lot of the times I learn certain things by just being in the shadows, just watching on my timeline on Twitter, and I'm just like, all right, well, let's say this streamer is posting this amount of clips and they're, you know, doing this with their content, then it's, if anything, like a lot of people get really jealous to see like good stuff happen to other people, but it always inspires me because at the end of the day, it comes down to you. You're not gonna, there's no way you can leech off someone and get a host and get famous like that. It doesn't happen. Like, yeah, that's not how you grow. It comes down to, are you gonna work hard? Are you actually entertaining? Can you market? Can you build good relationships with people? You know. So yeah, just paying attention. And the thing that's tough sometimes is like a lot of people do assume like if they're doing good, like that everyone just wants something from them. So like when it comes to you and you said you bounce ideas, do you only do it with friends or do you ever reach out to people for like advice?
I do it with certain people, especially with the things that I'm working on in the background. I don't really mention anything until I'm closer to doing it and actually working on it. So most of the time it's the people I trust the most and I know who work hard for their content. But if someone who I know is creating a lot of good content and I want to know more about them, I will be more than happy to reach out for them and ask their advice if it's a specific thing. But for most of the time I can often ask people who I surround myself with quite closely because I know they'll give me their honest opinion and not just beat around the bush to maybe make me feel happy for coming to ask them or for me to feel better about myself for going there and just giving me a yes answer instead of an honest answer.
That's true. You did actually ask me something yesterday now that I think of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it can't hurt. Like it can't hurt just to ask something. Like if I would have been a dick and just not responded, then oh well, like you'll figure it out. But yeah, I think it's good to ask. I need to be better at that. That's one thing. I always feel like people are, it's so like there's so much like stuff. You have to manage your Discord community, you have to manage, you know, Twitch, you have to go and check VODs, you have to do posts on YouTube, collabs, podcasts with you have a whole fucking website you gotta take care of. The hype team, like you're in content, like all this stuff, you know. I feel bad for taking, you know, time out of people's day to ask something sometimes.
Oh no, I get that, I understand that. What I would say is that if you are asking someone and they're a dick about it, like they never deserved you to even open your DMs to message them, you know. And I feel you really find those real people when you do ask someone a question and they respond with an answer and then they maybe give you some advice or anything like that, because then you see that those are the types of people who want to let everyone rise with them, everyone succeed with them and bring people along, and that's who I always try to surround myself with, those who will help you in any situation, to give the best advice, because we don't know everything. There's a lot to learn, and I ask so many people so many different things and try and learn from everyone, and that's why I ask so many questions, because I want to learn and want to be better. And you quickly realise who doesn't want you to be better and who wants to keep you in that level just below them so that you don't take over and start to see the success that you probably deserve.
Yeah, one time on Twitter I added one of my favorite producers, LP, and I just asked him, it was when I started out with my audio engineering stuff, and I just asked him a very simple question, like, do you have a tip for an up and coming music producer? And he actually responded to me. He said, start with the kick and the snare, which is like, oh, that's great advice. Like, I'm sure almost every song has just started with a nice little simple drum pattern. Yeah. And so it's great advice, but I already knew that. Like, I wasn't that new to where like I didn't already do that already.
You're like, so, I already know that, dick.
Yeah, so I was like, so then I messaged again. I forgot exactly how I put it, but I basically said like I appreciate the tip, but is there something more complex you could tell me? And he responded, start with the kick and snare, but make it more complex. Okay. And I was like, really? I swear to God.
No way! You have to screenshot that.
I'll have to look for it. I think it was in my last Twitter. It wasn't my answer. It wasn't my Stadium Beats Twitter. It was my old one that I deleted. So I don't think
he doesn't want you to win.
Well, like, cause what do you say? There's like a million things that you could do. I don't know. So I couldn't tell. Like, I couldn't tell if he was just like being a dick because like he didn't think I appreciated the response, or like if he was just being funny or what. But like, it was still cool. It was still cool to get a response from one of my favorite producers. But like, of course. I was like, well, I didn't really learn anything, but yeah, it's cool. I still think about it though. Like whenever I open up a new beat, I always think of him because I'm like, all right, I'm starting with a kick of the snare because LP told me to, even though I already knew that. So, yeah, it's just funny.
But make it more complex. This guy, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. I was hoping. I don't know. I don't know what I was hoping for. Like it's not like there's this one like gold nugget he could give me, and like all of my songs are gonna be hits now. But you know, it's LP. He's got to give me something good to work with, and he did. Like if you're starting out and you don't know to start with a kick and the snare, then that is the best advice you could ever give anybody. Yeah. So I still appreciate the answer.
That's funny. Do you have any more questions about like streaming and stuff, Sean, or do you want to go into the rapid fire stuff?
Yeah, not really. I mean, we basically covered everything.
Yeah, we're at 40 minutes already.
Oh, dang, really?
Oh. It's been fast.
Hey, speaking of fast, rapid fire questions.
Oh shit. Okay, my first one is: do you have any special talents?
Nope, football.
That's a special talent.
I like it. That is. I'll take it.
All right, Mike, what's yours?
I mean, I lost them all. Like when I was growing up.
You lost all of your talents?
Yeah.
It's like you know in a video game when you start out like super powerful, and then something happens and you like lose all your abilities and stuff, and you have to start. Did that happen to you?
Yeah. Dang. The only talent I have now is just being an idiot and being silly.
I rate it. That's the best talent.
Yeah.
Just being silly.
That's a talent.
What about you?
I can say my ABCs backwards pretty fast.
I rate it like that.
That's a talent.
I remember you used to do that.
Yeah, I can still do it. I'll do it. I'll do it for the pod.
Didn't you do that for like some type of like contest or something?
No.
Or like class or didn't you have to do that for something?
Nope. I just learned. I just learned it like organically. It just kind of happened. But
yeah, where do you learn that from?
I don't. My sister. My sister learned it from a movie. I think there was this movie that she used to like watching, and there was these two twin boys, and they said it like they did it, and I think she just learned it like from watching that movie 50 billion times as a kid, and then I think I learned it just from listening to her learn it. But
do you want to flex it this episode, or are you gonna wait?
No, I'll give it to him now. I don't like to tease. So it's just the ABCs backwards. It's not like I'm about to break the planet.
My computer's about to catch on fire.
It's ZYXWVUTSRQPONMLKJIHGFEDCBA. So that's the ABCs backwards. And
you can do it fast too.
Yeah, but I sound ridiculous when I do it fast, so I just But that does also give me permanent designated driver status, because if we get pulled over and I get asked to say my ABCs backwards, I can nail it.
Smart.
And they'll let me drive away.
I'd be screwed.
Yeah, my ass is getting locked up.
Yep, I am in jail.
No way.
So I don't know like how true that is that they actually ask you to do that, but I don't drink anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Fair.
Yeah, I guess that's one of my random talents.
Nice.
What is something you guys wish was more popular?
Positivity.
Hey, that's a great answer.
One. Especially for him. That's like perfect.
Yeah.
What was more popular? What's your answer? Let me think.
I don't know. I have so many answers. I wish pro wrestling was more popular. I wish metal music was more popular. You know how dope it would be to walk into like Hollister or Walmart and just hear All That Remains screaming and double bass pedals blasting and just freaking heavy ass guitars. That would be the coolest thing ever. I wish metal music was more popular. And I wish Guitar Hero was still as popular today as it was in 2007.
Guitar Hero's amazing.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. So those are my three answers I'll give you. But there's like a million.
Yeah. I'd say I wish Gears of War was more popular, and I also wish it was a complete game.
Ooh.
Oh,
Gunshot sound effect on my
There's a-
soundboard.
I mean,
So
if you ask anyone in the community, they'll probably go 10 times harder than me. Like, that was a nice answer.
Wish that pile
What
of
else?
garbage called Gears 5 was more popular.
For real.
There we go.
It's a great game. It's a great game.
Yeah. One time I tried to play my recycle bin. I thought it was Gears 5. But what
my
else?
God.
I wish that comedy was more popular. Like, comedians, like, they are kind of like, it's getting more popular, but I feel like I could name like a comedian and most people would be like, oh, like, who's that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But then
Podcasts
there
are getting more
some
popular
that
too.
are, yeah, podcasts are on a huge rise.
That's
Like
why
this
we're
one
all
you're
both
listening to
here,
right now.
and that's why he has his own.
Yeah.
I don't know. Real quick. Actually, no, never mind. We'll get to that at the end. Never mind.
Okay. This is a great one that I don't even know if I might have an answer, but what's the one thing you want to learn this year?
Oh, how to be a better businessman.
Ooh.
Okay.
I spent 2019 learning how to find me as a
Yeah.
person, like who I wanted to be, and by the end I did find it. This year it's really focusing on how to build my business as a whole, market myself better, increase my revenue streams, that sort of stuff.
That's a good answer. Finding yourself is one of the hardest things in content creation, like building the on-camera presence and being your full like self and knowing what niche you have, what kind of brand you want to be, what like you want to have like a clear message of like someone talking and saying like, say one of your mods is like talking to their friends, you want to have that clear message like, oh, I go there because he's positive and you know he spreads that, he's motivating, you know, you want to have that clear message.
For sure.
What about you, Sean?
I'm trying to think of like a brand new skill that I don't have that I want to learn, but I can't really think of one. But as far as like something, I want to learn how to become a better songwriter.
Okay.
Just not just lyrically, but just in general, because I feel like I attack every new song the same. But lyrically, I need to improve like 20-fold basically, because like I just started doing that. So if I could learn, and especially because this first album that we're working on is so like it focuses around one concept. So like once we get that out, it's like, well, now what? You know, like I wrote everything about that, but now I have no idea, you know? So like I don't want to hit that wall. So I just feel like throughout 2020, I want to be able to say like in January I was like this, but now in this January, 2020 January, like I can see like a huge difference in just how I go about everything and like how my brain works when attacking something, when attacking a new song or a beat or whatever. So that's a skill I have to develop this year.
I guess, I mean, the nice thing with music is the creativity is literally like there's infinite amount of possibilities, you know, there's millions and millions of songs that have been written and created, so there's definitely, you know, a way to go. It's not just like you're gonna try to do something no one's ever done,
right?
You know, so
if I could
definitely see
if I could think of something and put something out that no one's ever done, though, that'd be a good tip.
yeah, that'd be genius.
It would be. Am I a genius though? I guess we need to see.
I was watching Neil deGrasse Tyson last night, and he said a genius is someone that sees the same thing that everyone's seeing, but thinks what nobody thinks. Every time that guy talks, man, I feel like my IQ point goes up.
He's just a fountain of Twitter captions.
I swear, we gotta have him on.
Dude, why didn't we think of that?
I know, right? What I learned, I would say how to be more efficient and understand how to market myself as a content creator, because I don't really have like a niche of being like a super positive person. I am positive for sure, and I'm totally with you. Like, I like what you do and I totally resonate with it. Like, being positive and inspiring people, that's fucking awesome. Like, there's no two better things really you could do to influence people. But I also want to be silly and make people laugh and just be different. You know, like, I don't know. It's really weird. I feel like I almost want to be like a jack of all trades and be able to do funny stuff and be stupid and silly, but also do cool stuff like my merch video. That's like totally different side. So
I like
just
that.
just understanding how to like market yourself and bring people in and build the revenue and build a community, all that stuff, and just be better. Just all around, like
Just skate
there's
better.
so many things. Yeah. There's just so many things you can improve on. It's almost impossible to pick one thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and if you decide like throughout 2020, I'm just gonna get better at this one thing, then you can't do that. So it's good that you want to improve everywhere, because you can always improve everywhere. Everyone can.
Yeah,
LeBron
definitely.
can become a better basketball player.
Yeah. And that's crazy. All right. I think it's yours next. I have a lot, but we don't have to go through all of them.
I mean, I only have one more. What do you do when you can't sleep? Like, you go to bed, you're laying there, and you're like, I am wide awake right now. What do you do? Not maybe to help you sleep, or do something instead if you decide like maybe it's just not time for bed anymore. Like, what do you do?
So I used to just get up and go and work on some stuff if I couldn't sleep. But I realised that did not work, because when I got up in the morning at the same time, I would be screwed for the whole day. So now I put something on, like Netflix or Amazon Prime. I put on like The Office or something like that, and I just kind of try to listen to the voices and relax myself a little bit, because usually if I'm wide awake, I just need to kind of relax a little bit more. I mean, I'm working from like 8 in the morning till 12 at night usually with everything that I'm trying to do. Obviously there's breaks in between there, and then I'm family time, or if I've got football or something like that, but usually that's the kind of place when I wake up and I'll go to bed. So if I am still going, it's usually because my brain's still going about 1,000 miles an hour trying to think of new things to do. So if I do like come up with something, I usually just have that on my phone, and then if I have an idea, I'll write it on my phone, or I'll take a note of it, so that in the morning when I wake up I'll have it. Most of the time I just try and kind of relax as much as I possibly can, and not try and focus on everything that I've been focusing on during the day, because that's probably what's keeping me up. Not me not being tired, but just me trying to think of too many things and not letting me take a step back and just relax my brain for a little while.
Yeah, dude, you gotta start documenting. Like, you gotta do one video for me. It's called A Day in the Life. And literally just document like what you do. Like, you don't have to have it recording the whole day, but just be like, all right, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna work on this project, and then at this time I'm gonna work on this. Like, that would be awesome to see.
I done one a couple months ago. I can't remember when it was, but it was before Christmas. But a lot's changed now. You know, I've as I was saying, like, I found me and I found who I wanted to be. So now I feel it would be a really, really, really different. And I'm actually interested in doing that again and showing off kind of what I do.
Hell yeah,
That would be cool. That could help a lot of people too. And people are just interested to see that, like people that come to your Twitch a lot, or your subs, people that like really are looking forward to your new videos and stuff. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's good to have like that place marker in your history, so in 2-3 years when everyone's listening to Power of Positivity and watching you on Twitch, they want to like, it's people love seeing that growth. Like Mr. Beast had that Dear Mr. Beast video on YouTube that blew up, and he just like predicted, or he was just like, I want you to have this many subs, and you could see how young he was, and he was just motivated, and it's really cool to see stuff like that.
Something actually no one knows. I made a video last year that I have to open. I think it's maybe at my second year of doing Twitch, about where I wanted to be in a year, and then 2 years and 3 years. So
That's funny.
I'm looking forward to seeing those and seeing the difference that I've made within the time frame.
That's so funny because I did one too, but yeah, I'm waiting to like, you know, for a while to see. I don't know how many years it would take to make a comparison, but like maybe like anywhere from 3 to 5.
Yeah,
would be cool.
I like that.
Nice. What is something I do to go to sleep or fall asleep? I feel
just
like I do the
something
same
you
thing
do when you can't sleep.
when I can't
It might
sleep.
not. Yeah, it doesn't have to be something necessarily to help you sleep. Just it could be, but it doesn't have to be.
I would do the same thing where I would like, if I can't sleep, then I'm just like, I feel like at nighttime I'm full of ideas. It's so annoying. Like, why can't I just wake up and like be creative?
Yeah,
it's so annoying. But like, yeah, like I used to just like wake up, get on my PC, or write it down, and then like try to work on it. Or if I can't eat, I'm like, well, I gotta be full, so I eat late. So I'll eat like a big ass meal at like 4 a.m. And I'll be like, well, it's like a food coma into sleep, so here we go. And then I pass out. But I don't know. I've been kind of good at it lately, but I'll scroll through social medias a little bit at night, or try to turn something up. Usually watching like YouTube or Netflix, like you said, and just trying to literally just lay down. I lay on my stomach when I sleep, and I just close my eyes and try to just. It's all about breathing. I feel like if I have like a good breathing pattern and it's just like nice, calm, deep breaths, then that's when I really sleep. But then sometimes I'll have that thing where I'll be like, there's this. I only remember one of these dreams, but that thing that happens, it mainly happens in the middle of the day. Like if I'm like super tired and I need a nap. And in the dream, like this one dream, the only one I remember is I'll be playing dodgeball, and it's like right when someone throws the ball at my face and it's about to hit, like I flinch, like oh, and then like I almost fell asleep. It's the weirdest thing. But yeah, sometimes that happens.
And you like wake up and like try to dodge the ball, like mid wake up.
I'm like, oh god.
Yeah.
I have a dodgeball next to my bed just in case.
Dude, you're just ready to win.
In case I wake up in the middle of a gymnasium on my bed.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. What about you?
I do the Netflix thing too. For me, when I decide like I'm going to bed now, like it's bedtime, that's when I'm like I'm able to like completely shut down anything productive, you know? Because obviously sleeping is like you can't be productive when you're asleep. Obviously sleeping is productive because you have to be rested and everything, but in terms of getting things done, it's like the least productive thing in the world. So it's like no more production time, but I also don't want to just go and sit in front of my computer because I think that's just not good for your eyes and your brain to like just be in the dark and just staring at your computer before you go to sleep. So like I don't have a TV in my room, so then I'll go and I'll set up like my little bed on the couch instead, and then I'll just put on Netflix or an anime or something like that and just like give myself time. Like if I end up laying there for 2 hours and watching a show, then oh well, so be it. But more often than not, I'll just fall asleep during that too. When I was in high school though, I don't know why, but like my last year of high school, I went through a terrible sleep year, and like I just could not fall asleep. So then I would wake up at like 2 a.m. and I would turn on Nickelodeon, and they were always showing the George Lopez show, and and I loved that show, but it would just like I would end up like just laying there and watching that show for like 3 hours from 2 to 5 or 5:30 or something, and then finally falling asleep at 5:30. But then I'd have to wake up to go to school at like 6. So that always just sucked. But I don't know. There's just something about that year where I could never fall asleep, but I couldn't just go about things in my house because I still live with my parents and my sister. So I don't know, man.
You probably had that intro song on deck.
Oh yeah. Lowrider.
Lowrider. Oh yeah. They're going on the trampoline, all that stuff.
Yep. Dude, I used to have such a crush on Carmen in that show too. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah. But
and then Eva Longoria was the mom, right?
No. Definitely not.
No?
No.
Am I thinking of someone else?
Yeah. I mean,
Who was the mom?
I don't know her name, but she wasn't like, I don't think she's famous outside of that show, or she wasn't at the time. She's not hard to look at in her own right, but it wasn't Eva Longoria. No.
Oh, okay. Okay, I have my final rapid fire question, and it's so deep and it's annoying because we're almost at an hour, so you don't have to go that into it. But would you rather explore space or explore the ocean?
Is it all of space?
All of space?
Like, can we explore all of it?
All of space or all the ocean?
Yeah, probably all of space.
Oh yeah.
I just like it's so interesting to me. I understand we've only explored just over 5% of the ocean, and we should be exploring things that are on our planet. But holy crap, space is just so interesting.
I agree.
Yeah, like the possibilities of what you could find in space, I feel like are infinitely greater than what you could find in the ocean. Like you're not gonna travel to some random part of the ocean and run into a whole world that's made of cheese. But in space,
Exactly.
like that's
You gotta
like
bring
possible.
crackers.
Like I'm sure the odds of there being a planet made of cheese is like really slim, but it's like it's possible
because it's human made, isn't it?
Because like, well, maybe not on another planet. Cheese could be another planet's water, you know?
Yeah, well, there's a planet like that's basically made of diamonds.
Yeah,
so it's literally.
Dude, imagine selling that at a pawn shop.
You just roll up into a pawn shop with a planet.
Yeah. Chum would be like, "I'll give you $20."
Yeah. Chum will give you $20 for a diamond planet.
I brought what'd you bring in today? A planet made of diamond.
I actually have an expert of planets that are made from diamonds. So let me go talk to him. Let me go talk to him and see if I can get a price for you. I'm gonna have to frame it. It's hanging on the wall.
It's gonna be lying there for years.
Frame a planet.
Yeah. It's gonna be hard to find a buyer.
Put on the back of the pickup.
But yeah, just the possibilities are just way bigger in space. I think exploring the ocean would be sick, but you're just gonna find like a bunch of cool sea creatures and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Like.
Yeah, I agree.
There could be a planet where you like walk in there and there's like a whole lake and it's like water, but if you drink the water, it cures cancer. You know, like you have no idea. So, yeah.
Yeah, there could be another ElectricityWave streaming on Mixer somewhere in an alternate galaxy.
Dude, and then you could fight him. We could set it up on pay-per-view.
I'd do it. I'd kick his ass.
Winner keeps the name.
Winner keeps all subs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I don't know. It's a silly question. I'm sure some people would answer ocean, but like space I'm like kind of a space guy. And like, not that I know a lot of facts, but like I'm just super interested in it, like you. And it's so crazy the amount of stuff that we could find. Like, and it's annoying how far away everything is. Like light years.
Yeah.
What the hell? Dude.
Yeah. It's crazy that we even know things that are like millions of light years away.
Yeah.
Like, think about how fast the light travels compared to a person. Like, even if it was a million person, like, walking years away. It's like, that's insane. But no, we know something is, like, millions of light years away. That's nuts.
Like, let me grab my Fitbit and get on my way.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Space is wild, man.
Maybe we'll go to Mars in 2035 or whatever they say.
Never know.
That'd be crazy. Would you go? Would you go if they're like, all right, we're gonna split Earth up into half, like 4 billion people here, 4 billion people on Mars? Would you go? It's a 9-month trip.
Yeah, why not?
You would? Damn. Yeah. You wouldn't even wait to see if people like died?
Nah, amazing. I mean, if 4 billion people are going though, then the likelihood of you being the first one on it is probably quite slim. So, like, I won't be first, but, you know, I'll be there.
True. How much it would cost to transport 4 billion people
4
to Mars?
billion, I know.
Do you think it'd have Twitch?
Twitch Prime?
Mars
Prime?
All those Twitch Primes you could...
Mars.
Oh my god, think about on the ride there, all those people you could convince to use their Twitch Prime on you.
Dang.
That would be crazy.
Imagine, like, thinking the journey, live streaming the journey.
Oh, that would have so many viewers.
That'd be really interesting.
Crazy.
Everyone would be like live streaming their journey. There'd be so many people.
Uploading it to YouTube would be a bitch though, because you have to upload it to Earth, and then they're.
Yeah. Well, if they're already in the process of moving 4 billion people, then I'm sure they have some sort of foundation already.
Yeah.
So like, I'm sure Google has like a stake in there.
Yeah, they'll have satellites and all that orbiting the planet and whatnot.
Yeah, and
That's
like
true.
the whole like dying thing, like they'd probably do some testing first. Like they're not just gonna start with 4 billion. Like they probably do like 20 first and see how that goes.
I heard they were actually working on, it was like 4 people every 4 years they would be sending out, because obviously the time it takes to actually get to Mars.
Yeah.
I think it was meant to start in 2024, but I don't know how far development is on with that anymore. But there was applications being sent in for 4 people to be chosen, and then another 4 would be chosen 4 years later, and so on and so forth, to build an actual colony.
Damn, 4 people? Like, that's crazy. The amount of costs it would do too. Like, I think like if they were giving out like, I was listening to like some interview and they were saying like talking about charging, going to like the moon, how much it would cost, and they were like literally it could cost whatever they wanted, but it'd be like millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So like taking someone to Mars would be a lot of money.
Imagine they all hated each other as well.
Yeah, that'd be annoying.
That'd be such a gutter.
Yeah, because it's not like they're gonna say like, all right, you're coming, you can bring a friend. It's like they've got 4 probably people that have never met each other. Yeah. Dude, imagine if they picked everybody and then you get there and you're on your way and you realize that one of them has really bad BO.
You wonder if what?
Like one of them ends up having really bad BO.
Oh, that'd be annoying.
Like,
can you just take me home?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And the food you'd have to, a 9-month trip, the food you'd have to eat.
Yeah, it would be.
I think they know how. Yeah, I think they know how to grow like potatoes inside of a spaceship, so that would be pretty good.
Your diet would have to be pretty strict, probably though.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And your body like would be so like it would be like stretched and like put through all this like pain or like just like different types of gravity and motion.
Yeah.
And G-force like.
Do we know the I mean, I'm sure we do. Like, but like, do you guys know what the gravity on Mars is compared to Earth?
I'm not sure what it is.
I think it's more like stronger. So like, I think we would weigh more. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not Neil deGrasse Tyson.
If you try to jump and it's like you have like a 3-inch vertical and that's crazy on Mars.
Oh, it's actually less. 38% of Earth. So if you weighed 100 on Earth, you'd only weigh 38 pounds on Mars.
Wow.
Damn, that's weight crazy. Loss journey.
Yeah, that's the secret. That's the secret to abs right there.
Fitness motivation.
Just
traveling to Mars.
Pounds on Mars. Shut up.
Like, what's your workout regimen going to Mars?
That's gonna be my excuse for everything now.
Yeah, right.
You know, on Mars I'd weigh a lot less. So.
You're right. My diet's terrible, but on Mars I'm good.
Can you imagine what a fully grown person looks like at 38 pounds?
Oh my gosh.
Maybe like
Slender Man?
That's for sure.
Actually, crazy.
Yeah. Oh man. Damn, dude, we did an hour and 7 minutes like it's nothing.
Nothing.
It doesn't even feel. It genuinely doesn't. This is why I love this so much.
Yeah, man. I had a great time, and you were the perfect guest to have for episode 18.
A blast. Thank you so much for having me on. Really do appreciate it.
Seriously, brother. Last thing before we get off, where can the people find you? We'll have the links in the description as well. So.
I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/bottomfrag. That's the same as my Twitter as well. If you wanted to watch me on YouTube, it's youtube.com/thestreamerhub. And if you also wanted to listen to my podcast, it's the Power of Positivity podcast. Spotify, Apple, and Google.
Perfect.
Yeah. And Frag is spelled with 2 A's, correct?
Yeah, 2 A's.
Yes.
Awesome.
Just to be sure.
And then we'll have Twitter, Instagram, like literally like everything I can find, we'll have it. So we should be good.
Yeah. Do you want to just wrap the episode up here, or do you want to do a one-on-one after?
What makes it easier for you?
Wrapping up the episode here.
Okay. All right. We're all set, and that was episode 18 with Mr. Andy or Bottom Fraag. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for tuning in for episode 18. You guys already know the drill. We literally say it every week, but if you review 5 stars on Apple, we will shout you out on the next episode. Tweeting us out, sharing, liking, subscribing, all that good stuff helps us out. So we appreciate you. The comments, we read everything. So
everything, literally everything.
Yes, everything. And we appreciate you guys.
Comment right there. Even that one. Yep. We read that.
Yep, we're already reading them before the episode's out. So we'll see you guys on episode 19. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. Stay chill.